Hello, everybody. Can you hear me? Hello. Can you hear me? How are y'all doing? I'm so sorry that I something was not going right with the. Anyway, here we are. Okay. You see my dog? Ruby's finally joined me for this one. Ruby, who's that? All right, y'all. Thanks for joining. Thank you so much for being here. I was. It's going to be a small group of us, which I like because it makes it a little bit more intimate. Yesterday was kind of crazy. I don't know if you joined that live session, but it was the first time, and I had to read about. I had to like look into it, but there were so many comments going through that I couldn't keep up. And then at some point, I looked over, and it was like 480 people at some point, and I was like, "Whoa!" Like, but it is great to see y'all, and thank you so much for becoming members. Um, so what I thought I would do, I wanted to just go ahead, kind of like open it up and ask how everything's going for everyone. I know this is a really big month. July is the biggest month. Well, I would say June and July. Let's just say June and July, the two biggest months of 2023. There's also like toward the end of the month, there are some really great moments that everyone's going to feel. But July in particular, we have the changing of the nodes. Venus went retrograde yesterday. I don't know if everybody. I did a video on that, and then we're into Leo season, which is Leo is a native ruler of the fifth house, so it is. I've said it on my readings. I want y'all to have fun. I want y'all to have fun, despite like there's some like hard aspects that came through. I even had some moments. I don't know if y'all do this. I do something that's very interesting. Is I ever since college, I would write down everything that I did for the day, and so it's kind of like a diary, but not really. It's just more like a list of things I did that day. If it was something a little bit more significant, I would actually, go a little bit more into the details. So basically, making a really long story short, I have every day of my life, every day since college, decades of my life, like documented every day. It's kind of crazy. So I can go through if I'm having an argument with a friend about something that happened 10 years ago, I can actually look through like what the movie was that we were talking about or whatever. It's really funny. But I bring this up because it's something that you may want to get in the habit of doing because you can see just how much these planetary aspects do affect your life because sometimes you just don't know like in the moment like did anything happen for me during the full moon or did anything happen like around that time. And so it's really if you don't do it, it's just something that I do. It's something that I can look back to. I think I said in one of my readings, I'm a very yeah, I know. Did she did leave, didn't she? Ruby's gone. Ruby left. Because I'm a very visual person, but are you able to up this sound input a little bit? It's on full gain. I don't know if you can see that. I don't know. There's my mic. Can everyone else hear me? Okay. Yeah. I think that's the thing is if the problem, like every once in a while I will get a comment about someone saying that it's a little bit like they can't hear me, and I tested it in a lot of my videos. It may be something on your end. It may be something, Alicia, it may be something that either like the volume, there could be something on your end, and people have written back, they're like, oh yeah, I'm sorry, that was this and that. So it just may be something on your end that you may have to adjust, but let me know if it doesn't come through. All right, cool. So yeah, I wanted to just briefly talk about joy. It is one of the most intense months. There or sorry, July. There's just so much happening. Um and I was gonna ask y'all if there was anything happening with y'all that went around like that, that was maybe a little hard. I know that I had so I'm gonna tell you a couple things that happened for me, just to give you put things into context. Um, I wrote down here uh, we had on where did it go? Hold on one second. Okay, so on July 6th. So July 1st to the 6th, it should have been fine. It should have been good. There should have been some really great it was around that full moon in Capricorn. It could have been, there could have been some really good closures around that time. Jupiter was really active with Uranus at that time. Saturn was in a really harmonious position, bringing a lot of stability. It was a good full moon, but the days that followed after I felt were really great. And then it all led up to July 6th, where we had Mercury sextile Uranus. Did y'all see that? Or did y'all have, there was a day, Mercury is a planet of communication. I'm noticing my hair is like crazy too. Mercury is a planet of communication, and Uranus is a planet of surprises. So it could have been a day you received exciting news. Did anyone get exciting news around that time? Oh, Irma, thank you so much. You're amazing. Oh gosh, thank you. Um, that is the day, and this is just an example. In a lot of my readings, I say this happened on July 6th, but remember that's just the peak of the day. It was the day after that I got the news. Um, so I've been having a lot of different restaurants and bars and clubs and whatnot, hotel chains approach me to be their resident like reader here in New York City, and none of them really felt right. I think a lot of it was just like out of, a lot of them were in Manhattan. I'm in, Williamsburg. I'm in Brooklyn. Williamsburg is like a mini Manhattan. If y'all don't know Brooklyn well, it's just right across the bridge. I was in the East Village before I moved to Brooklyn, but I moved here during COVID, and so I can actually like literally see my other apartment across the river from where I'm at. But we do like I live just there's like an Apple store here. There's a Nike store. There's a Whole Foods. It really is like a mini Manhattan. And so a lot of the places that were asking me to be, the resident reader, come in like once a week and read once a week. I always thought that would be fun. But they're all, the majority was in Manhattan. And they were like, over in West Village or Hell's Kitchen. And it was just a little too far. It's like, a little too far for me to go to just to do these readings. But then I got uh, 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 that is when I had a call from a pretty big hotel chain to ask me to be their resident reader, and there's a lot of great hotels in Williamsburg, and so so that was my exciting moment where I had the unexpected message come through. That was really nice. Bridget, you said, okay, so your family camping trip last weekend was a boop boop, and you left early and decided to focus on you, and you left. Okay, that's great. That's great. I'm sorry that it was a boop boop, but I don't even know if that's the right term to say. But last weekend was, you said that was last weekend. That was that. So yeah, that happened around the new moon. That actually happened when we had the new moon in Cancer. Mm-hmm. Around that time. Alicia. Okay. I'm glad that it's working now. Okay. Alicia, wait, so you don't know whether to give up your apprenticeship or not, find a new workplace. Well, here's the thing. Everyone's feeling, and what's really funny is that everyone will be feeling these shifts. Like Bridget, you said it was, that you had that boop boop, and so this all happened around the new moon. Listen, this happened around the new moon. That new moon again was very interesting because we had that cardinal grand cross. It was happening at the same time as the North Node moving into Aries, South Node moving into Libra. But remember, Pluto was opposing the Sun. It was just it was a crazy time. It was a crazy time from the 17th to about the 20th, which is, I'm looking at my calendar, from Monday to about Wednesday. So you could have felt it over the weekend. Yeah, absolutely. You could have felt that over the weekend. And so it's good that you decided to focus on you and yourself. And what sign are y'all? Can leave your signs too. But yeah, everyone should have felt it shifts. This was a very intense week. When I say intense, there was a lot happening. And Pluto, again, was just being very, very naughty, really just being very stern. And I actually had my moments too. I had a huge moment. Like with someone that I've known for a really long time, for about 20 years, and words were exchanged. But it was almost like, I some in some situations you have to just be the better person and just kind of like let things go, but you may have felt a build up. I'm not even, I mean, like, it all started on like July 10th. Okay, so for some of y'all, around July 10th you could have felt it when Mercury was like Pluto was opposing Mercury. So it was almost like you could have started feeling a little buildup around that time. There was some things that I had this exchange with this person who I've known again for like 20 years, and it wasn't great. But it kind of blew up over this past Monday around the new moon. I mean, there are great things that happened. Like, for instance, I intentionally launched the merchandise store on the new moon. I was like, I have to get this done by the new moon. We have to avoid the Venus retrograde. So we had like weeks and weeks and weeks to do this. So great things did happen, but there was also the other side of things where things went really sideways with communication, with working with other people. And both of us, like, there was someone that I was, working with. He's currently He'll never watch this. He doesn't believe in astrology, so he'll never watch this video. So he actually, he's currently unemployed. And so I thought I'd help him out and just, like pay him for some things. And he just didn't actually do any of the things. So that was my situation with Pluto. Was, I think I explained in the live stream that I'm already working about 60 hours a week. So I had to do another like 20 hours last week doing the work that I paid him to do that he didn't do. And so he's been unemployed for many, 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 many years. So it was, I had to really tell him, give him that wake up call. This is why you're unemployed. You have to actually do work. When someone hired, it was just crazy. So words were exchanged, but it was, so there should have been some great things. And again, it's always, I really do encourage you to keep a notebook. I will always, I do, obviously because of what I do, I plan a lot of things around astrological aspects. I don't know if I mentioned in my last video, it could have been, I mentioned it somewhere, maybe in a community post, that I started my channel the end of March 2022. I deliberately started it during that new moon in Aries because I knew what was happening in 2023. Okay. And so it was during the new moon, it just right approaching the new moon in Cancer, where I hit 100,000 followers. But for me, being an Aquarius and Gemini rising, that was big. That was big because it's, as a Gemini rising, that was in my 11th house of, hopes and wishes, but also organizations, right? And groups and communities. And so with me being an Aquarius, that was my third house of, communication and just, with Jupiter having been in Aries at that time, really expanding that area of, so that's how, I use astrology to plan things, And that's why I always try to give you guidance on the dates to avoid. There is, I want y'all to know, Mercury's coming up soon. Mercury retrograde. That one's overlapping Venus retrograde. That one's going to be a very interesting one, y'all. It's going to be very interesting. I have to look into the last time that happened, Venus retrograde in Leo with Mercury retrograde in Virgo, which is its domicile. I mean, it's basically domicile and exalted. I mean, Mercury is a ruling planet for Virgo. So I don't know the last time it happened, but this is just going to be the end of August is going to be interesting. It's going to be rethinking a lot of things. One other thing is August is a lot of, and I mentioned this in the videos in my monthly readings that I'm going to release, and I don't want to. And you tell me. I can tell you as much as you want to hear, and I can also hold things back so I don't spoil it for you. But August really is, at this point in August, with Mercury going retrograde and then Uranus going retrograde the day after, basically like the entire solar system is retrograde in August, except for Mars and Jupiter. Okay, so when I say a lot of people are at that point in their lives where you're going to be reassessing a lot of things, you're going to be reassessing a lot of things in your life. But it's good. It's good. It's good. It's giving you time to, I been saying in all the readings, it's after what's happening this month and, even last month, we're still feeling effects from that. It's almost giving you this, like, it's letting you catch your breath and really put things in order. So wait, let me get back to these. Okay, so I realized I can scroll down. That's what someone was trying to tell me yesterday. Okay. Michelle, you ended a 5-year relationship on June 28th. When was that? We're in retrograde season, Venus retrograde in Leo. So that's breakups are going to happen. It's going to happen. It is going to happen. And remember, Venus went retrograde today, or I'm sorry, yesterday, but it was in shadow in June 19th. And that's so it's just a shadow period. It's like so you can start feeling it. You start feeling that buildup, and you may start seeing hints of what's to come or feel them as well. Oh, Michelle, you're a Leo. Bridget, you're a Leo too. Oh my gosh. Happy birthday to both of y'all. Y'all are gonna have big changes. Especially next month. Oh, Bridget, you're Leo, sun, moon, and rising. Wow. And you got Venus in your first? Good for you. So you know that we also have a new moon in Leo next month. So when I talk about new beginnings, y'all Leos, and then everyone is going to have, big changes next month. It's you started feeling the changes this month. Again, the universe is going to give you this moment to catch your breath next month, and you are going to. You're going to feel these big shifts. And it's funny. I encourage you, and I do this all the time with my friends as well. Whenever we were on calls or phone calls or we're hanging out, there is not one person that I know that is not going through some sort of major shift in their life right now. Okay. And it can be very, personal, spiritual. It can be, for some, it's relationships. For some, it's like moving. For some, it's the ending of relationships. For some, it's they're started a business. I mean, people are having major, major moments. Okay. And this is everyone I know, even and it's just interesting because if you think about where we were, say, like in January, everyone was doing the same thing. There were no changes happening in their life. Okay. And in January, there was absolutely nothing. Like, I think that I think I said that in my reading that 2023 doesn't really start until March anyway, because there's really nothing happening in January and February. That it's interesting. Ask your friends. Or even just sit down and think about what's happening with your friends too and family members. Like everyone I know there's some major thing happening. Okay, hold on. Let me see if I can catch. Okay, let me catch up. All right. Hi, Cheryl. Cheryl, you're a Scorpio. Oh my, and Leo moon and rising. Oh my goodness, y'all. You're definitely gonna have a career moment. You're definitely gonna have a career moment. Oh my gosh, I'm just reading your last message. You says next month I'll have my last day at my job of 18 years. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. There you go. You are gonna have a career moment this month. It is. It's like true. It's so true. Leos are having a lot of changes in career, but remember, Jupiter is in Taurus, so it's great changes. So if you feel that things are if you feel things are just unfavorable, it's all for the better. I say it all the time. I'm going to give you an analogy or just a reference because, again, like I said yesterday, sometimes I don't say the same things in all signs. And so it only when I feel compelled or when my guides I tell me, like, you should tell them this. Like, for instance, I had a job where well, let's just say that I really, 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 really wanted. I thought it was my dream job, and I didn't get it. And of course, I was not very happy with that. But I have a lot of examples of this too. But not even like weeks later, a recruiter reached out to me, and so and then I got another job, and it was just a job. I was just like, okay, whatever, this is a job. But then weeks later, so actually months later, a recruiter reached out to me on LinkedIn out of the blue, out of nowhere, and that was my dream job. That was my dream job. So I I mean, it wasn't even just a dream job. It like paid twice as much. It allowed me to work from home. It had all these other benefits. It was so it's always like if something happens unfavorably in the moment, and again, I write down everything that happens every day, so I kind of like see everything that's happening on a daily basis, and I can look back to things. Um, there's always a reason for it. It's always the universe is always on your side, and we go through these challenging moments because it's testing you. And I always say life isn't a Disney movie, and these tests are tests because they're meant to be hard, right? They're meant to be hard, and so we are. Even uh, for instance, that challenging week that I had last week with this friend, it was really, really hard. We both said things that were really harsh. And so it was, it was things that I felt like I had to sit there and think about why did that happen? What was this? What did I have to learn from this moving forward? And I had that moment of clarity of like, okay, this is why that happened. So even if you have these moments that are challenging, maybe you're angry and you accidentally say something, and there are these outbursts. It's almost like there's no preventing it. It's all you know how there's those moments where you were like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I just said that, or oh my gosh, I can't believe I just did that. Well, they were meant to happen. They were actually meant to happen because we do have to feel all those emotions, right? I mean, it would be really, really even regret. Like I always, I try not to regret things, in my life, and I'm at a point now where if there is something that I regret, I understand why. And so that's why just trusting your intuition is always really good. I know I'm going to ramble, so I'm going to just keep looking at y'all's. Unless you like what I'm saying, give a thumbs up. But okay, I don't remember where I left off. Okay, so Scorpio. Oh, by the way, Cheryl, if you're a Scorpio, next, wow, you're reading some. And you're reading Scorpio, I'm not gonna lie, and y'all tell me if they're too long. I mean, I just kind of I free flow. Like I know a lot of readers time their readings, so it's not. But I just go with my spirit, like yeah, uh, and they tend to go long. But your August readings, Scorpio, I think yours is an hour long. Something happened, and I'm not going to spoil it, but it was so rare. And in my history of doing, reading card, like it's never happened. So I hope you like I'm not going to say anymore. Alicia, that's what happened when you talked to the boss. Yeah. Hopefully it'll all come in divine favor. I'd love to help you out with the work if I could, but the right will come. Wait, me? Oh, thank you. Oh, I see what you're saying. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. What did you say earlier? And Lisa, you're a Taurus. Okay. You're okay. You're Taurus and you're Aries rising. That's great. Hey, you honestly like have nothing to worry. Like if you're Taurus, Aries rising, you're set. You're fine. You're good. You're absolutely good. So the main planet that you want to track is Jupiter. Okay. Jupiter is a planet of good fortune, good luck, prosperity. Jupiter is, I mean, it changes signs every year. And so if you are Taurus with Aries rising, then you're absolutely fine because Jupiter is in your sign for the entire year. And if you're Aries rising, it's in your second house. Okay. So you have the most luck in that area as well. The second house is money. So you'll be making a lot more money. So I think, were you the one that had a job? Yeah, work. Okay. Oh no, you had the sound problem. Sorry. Oh, the apprenticeship or not, or find a new. You listen. As long as you just take action, you'll be fine. But I feel like with Jupiter, Jupiter is linked to, there's a lot of fate linked to it. I say it in some of the signs. Again, you may be hearing some of this for the first time, some of the things that I'm saying now, but in a lot of readings, I, explain Jupiter is that planet that its gravitational mass is so huge that it's prevented meteors and asteroids from hitting our planet for millions of years. I mean, when I say Jupiter is a planet of luck and fate and good fortune and prosperity, I mean, you're truly good. Okay, Tauruses are definitely going through the best year that they're going to have since 2011, 2012. You being an Aries rising, it means that you've come out of a really good period. Now it's all about self-worth, self-confidence, but also money. So you're fine. You're good. Alicia, you're good. You're really good. Purple Magpie, Cancer with Gemini Moon. What's your rising? So if you're if you're Cancer, then you should have had some definitely like you should have a lot of like things should be really really good for you right now. There is a sense of the nodes moved into your 10th house, okay, which is career, okay, career. And I'll wait for your rising. Yeah, Bridget, you're the Leo sun. That's a lot of you're probably really fun. And again, go out there and have fun. Please just go out there and have fun. Don't let anything like right. You're gonna it's such a that's the thing. Even though there are all these aspects happening, you have to remember Sun and Leo is like fun, fun, fun. Even Venus is, and even when Venus retrograde ends, you have to remember Venus is still in Leo for I think it's until October. I mean, it's a long time. So Venus retrograde ends September 4th, and it's not a bad thing. I want anyone to think it's a bad thing. It's just like, again, a lot of reassessing a lot of things in terms of matters of love and whatnot. But for a lot of people, it's just going out there and having fun and meeting people. I mean, but I guess I don't like make anything official until you can. If you want to, you can make things official if you want to. It's just, it's just known to be a period where things don't. I'm going to give you, okay, let me give you an example. I'm going to give you a Mercury retrograde example because that is coming up. Well, first, a Venus retrograde example. Let me just give you something about Venus retrograde. Every time Venus has been retrograde, bosses from the past have always come back, even those I haven't spoken to for years. It's so crazy. It's so crazy. They've come back to ask me to do freelance work or full-time work, or come back and do work for them in some capacity. So my Venus retrogrades are mostly work related, but Mercury retrograde, I signed a contract. There was this job that it's the one. I don't know if I said in my session yesterday. I lived in LA for a little bit. Oh no, I said it in a video when Jupiter went into Taurus. For me, that's my 4th house, right? As an Aquarius. So every time Jupiter went into Taurus, I moved. So I moved. So I'm anticipating something happening this year. But I always moved for like really good reasons. And the last time it did, it was 2012, 2013 that I moved to LA. It was I wanted to get out of New York for a little bit. I had an opportunity come up out there, and so I moved. I moved there. But so Mercury retrograde it's so funny. Former boss got in touch with me. Okay, just months before Mercury retrograde. And she was starting this new division in her, a very corporate job, and it's a very, I don't want to like, very big news. news channel, and so I said yes. I wanted to do it. I didn't want to be a freelance writer and editor anymore, so it was like a full-time thing. And so when the contract came around, by the time the contract came around, it was Mercury retrograde. I had no choice. And sometimes you'll find yourself in that position. I had absolutely no choice but to sign it during a Mercury retrograde. And so I did. And when I started my job, and it brought me back to New York City, and they paid for everything. And but when I started my job, what I signed up for, my role like started changing into something that I was just like, this isn't what I signed up for. So those are kind of like examples of Mercury retrograde. And that's why I say, like, or not just me, but anyone will say, like, in astrology, they'll say like that, don't sign things. Mercury is a planet of communication, of, logic, of all of that. And contracts is a big thing. So you never really want to sign it because something may change through that process. And so I did not last at that job for long. But the good news is there's always something that comes out of it, right? So it brought me back to New York City. Okay, so that's a good thing. And B, there was someone that I interviewed while I was at that job who turned out to be, and he was the CEO of this tech company. And so during another Mercury retrograde, after I had left that job, he out of the blue emailed me and asked me to come work for them. So I wouldn't have actually ever had met him had I not signed up for this job. So I don't want you to always think, I know when Mercury retrograde comes around, everyone freaks out and they're just like, oh no, this is, it's going to be the worst. No, actually, no. If you see it that way, then yes, it'll be really bad for you. There's always I always say, I mean, look at you always have to look at like the positive aspects of things that happen. And so it's just again, these things happen, and there are moments where I'm just like, I can't even believe it. Like, how is this even happening? Alicia, you had to block your dad last night. Intense is an understatement. Yeah, just wait things out. Things are even today Mercury is squaring Uranus. It could be a day where and Mercury is currently in Leo, okay, and Uranus is in Taurus. Those are two fixed signs. So it could be a day where it's just be flexible. Be flexible, okay? Don't make any final decisions. Don't just be flexible. Things are gonna turn out, okay? Okay, where am I? Sorry. Jean, you have a chance for a new business adventure. Wait until September. Yes. Please do. Felt confident and sure about it, but last week, Monday and Tuesday, I started to doubt myself. You're fine now. Okay. Yeah, of course. Yeah. This is an intense week. And last week was intense too, especially after that, the new moon and the changing of the nodes. Oh gosh. Hang in there. And some of y'all will barely feel it. It depends on your entire birth chart. So it depends on your personality too, but some of y'all, it may be a little bit more intense. Michelle, you asked, you've been talking about career and traveling. I found out that I'm going to Georgia to open a new Amazon facility. That's amazing. That's awesome. Congrats, Michelle. That's so cool. Oh my gosh. That's huge. That's big. Congratulations. That's awesome. I wonder what part of Georgia. Okay, so hold on. Let me see. Oh gosh, I'm scrolling. There we go. Did I get that right? Okay, there we go. Okay. Deirdre. Oh, I hope I'm saying your name right. Deirdre. I love your name, Deirdre Lagarde. That's amazing. Please tell me if I'm Deirdre. You were Gemini, Sun, Moon, Mercury, Venus, and Saturn. Wow. I think Gene, you're very Gemini, right? Y'all, that's a lot of Gemini. You should, what's your midheaven? Do you know your midheaven, Deirdre? Anyway, that's like if you're Gemini, Sun, Moon, Mercury, Venus, and Saturn, that's I mean, you should be an influencer. I'm not gonna lie. Just with Leo rising, you should be an influencer. I would not be surprised if you become an influencer this year. With your Leo rising, again, Jupiter in Taurus is in your 10th house. Your career like a rocket ship. Alicia, your dad's in Aquarius. Yeah. Well, I get that, right? Because I'm in Aquarius, and Aquarians again are they can be very independent, but also they are fixed signs too. Gene, August, amazing. Goes the T. Oh, okay. So this were I think I did. So the sneak peeks for okay. So so that's what's so we're kicking off August with the full moon in Aquarius, okay, y'all. So this one's a big one. Here's the thing, you have to put all the math together too. Remember, we have about 4 planets retrograde throughout August until we hit August 23rd. That's when 2 more planets go retrograde. So that's 6 out of the 8 planets that are retrograde during August. So when I say it's a time that it's a lot of reassessing, but it's also, you have this it's like the curtains pulled back for y'all to look forward, really, really think about the next step in your life. But this is also coming after the nodal shifts. Oh my goodness, this is huge, huge. A lot of y'all, when I say life changing, I know that I always say I try to avoid the term life changing because it's so dramatic, but it's unarguably like your life are in different areas of your life too, if not like all, like it again depends on your sign and all of that. But so we have a full moon in Aquarius, and did y'all see that I did a video full moon in Capricorn where I did all 12 signs. I did a spread for all 12 signs. So I did another one of that for the full moon in Aquarius. So that one I will have ready for you Tuesday. Okay. So so all members get access to that first. So y'all can check that out to see how to prepare, what to expect for the full moon in Aquarius. I want you to know that full moon in Aquarius is happening the same day that is happening is Mars is trining Jupiter. It's actually like a really interesting time because it's there's going to be, full moons bring conclusion, and so there could be and you have to see where it is in your chart, but there's going to be matters that are being concluded during that time. But again, I'll send you the video. Y'all have access around that time. We also have, and then also I don't really talk about the shadow periods, but Mercury is going in shadow on August 4th. So it's not fully retrograde, but it's kind of like where you may start seeing like little hints of things like, your phone acting up or whatever. But again, it won't be, it doesn't actually go retrograde until the 23rd. August is an interesting month. Okay. We have 2 full moons, y'all. We have 2 full moons. We have the full moon in August. I'm sorry, on August 1st in Aquarius, and then we have a full moon in Pisces at the end of the month. And then so remember, full moons are closure and things coming to an end, and but there's always new beginnings after this, right? But with it being retrograde season, there's a lot of y'all where you're moving into these new stages in your life, like these new areas in your life. So that's the big thing. And then there are so many trines in August. It's absolutely amazing. It's absolutely amazing. These trines are so beautiful. And then I've also been talking about how there's been so many squares. Venus has been squaring Uranus. Venus has been squaring Jupiter. These squares are amazing. They're breakthrough moments. Okay, we have a couple of those throughout the month too. So the entire month of August is peppered with all these amazing aspects. Okay, there is one day that I do where it may be really challenging, and that let me just pull up my calendar because I don't want to tell you the wrong date here. But just to give you there it is. Okay. Um, Yeah, it'll be on the 15th. So around the 15th, that is when the sun is going to square Uranus. And so it could be so first things first, that is going to affect the fixed signs the most. So if you are a Scorpio, if you are a Taurus, if you are Aquarius, if you are who am I missing here? Scorpio, Taurus, Aquarius, who am I missing? I'm brain dead right now. Scorpio, Taurus, Aquarius. I'm missing Leo. Duh. Okay, Leo. So that may affect you the most. So Sun squaring Uranus, it can be a little challenging. You may feel a little bit of pressure. Remember, this is also a peak, so you could feel it a few days before, a few days after. But it's remember, Uranus is a planet of surprises. So some things could go sideways, some things that you didn't expect could happen. But it's interestingly like sandwiched by these amazing aspects. Like on the 13th, we have this Sun conjunct Venus. We have this amazing Cazimi. It's like you have this huge moment of clarity. And Venus is all about matters of the heart and love and money. And then the day after the Sun squaring Uranus, we have that new moon in Leo, but on the same day of the new moon in Leo, Mars is trining Uranus. I mean, hello, that's huge. That's absolutely huge. So it's really interesting. There could be for some of y'all just a little bit of pressure around the things that you're doing. Like Eugene, you said earlier, you had a little moment. Like it could be like that. It could be just just a little bit of pressure around that time, but or maybe like second guessing something or something just going sideways. But again, it's right between like these two absolutely amazing aspects. So it's going to be an interesting time. And that's going to be mid-month, mid-August. Okay, so let me see what else is going on here. Elder Chuck. Sorry, what's your name? Eldorner Chuck. I know that's just not. I'll just call you Cool L. Okay, so Cool L. Is that an L or an I? That's an I. I'll call you Cool I. You said you're moving and going to your old job, training for a higher position. There you go. Okay, so that's amazing. Huge shift. Cheryl, next month I'll have my last day of a job, 18 years traveling. Oh yeah. So yeah, with you being that's awesome. Alicia, you said everyone. Irma, you're Virgo. You're double Virgo. Okay, with Scorpio moon. Okay. Can we do anything about our negative feels with Venus retrograde? It's like I have a hard time redirecting myself and don't want to be so bitter. Yeah. Well, here's the thing. You're Virgo rising. That's good. That's like really when is Mercury going? At the end of, is it next week? Next week Mercury's going into your sign. But Mars is already in your sign. So yeah, you're definitely like in it. Like you're playing, you're detective right now, and you're really like you have this eagle eye. I would just say like I wouldn't again, I wouldn't focus on the negative. I would focus on like all the positives. So if there's anything that's happening right now that you are reflecting on, or things that are happening or will happen, don't focus on the loss, focus on the gain. Okay. Remember what I just, a lot of the stories I just told you of like, which all the gains that happened from all these things that I thought were, like, So it really is. But especially with Mars in your sign and Mercury going into your sign very soon. When is that happening? That is Mercury's going into Virgo. So Mars has been in your sign since the 11th. Mercury is going into your sign in 5 days. Yeah, I mean, you're just gonna be. I mean, like, because you are Virgo rising, you're probably already feeling it. Like, especially with that Mars, like, just that Mars is really aggressive. So I would just say, don't beat yourself up over this. Like, you may be, because you're double Virgo. You may be so intensely there. So I would just kind of like pretend that you're on the beach and like sitting in a beach chair with a Hawaiian punch or something in your hand. I don't know what you drink, but really just have fun with thinking about these things, okay? And think about the gains. Think about the gains. I wouldn't be so you being double Virgo. That's what I would say. Jean, you've heard from past people the last couple of weeks. Haven't heard from a while. Yep, that and changes for you and your family and friends. Yes, it's a big time. Yeah, Cheryl, 18-year cycle thing. Yeah, yeah. Uh, this has been interesting at home. Purple Magpie, hubby suddenly retired. This change is so hard to me. Really focusing on yourself and growth. Yeah, that's it. That's exactly what you should be doing, because there will be changes, really big changes. And it's sometimes they come suddenly. And remember, Uranus is with Jupiter right now in Taurus. So and there have been a lot of moments with Uranus, but again, it is a really big time to everyone's going to feel shifts. Everyone's going to feel changes. It's really like change is the only constant in this world, right? So it's just being prepared mentally, spiritually, emotionally, all of that, being prepared for all these changes. And again, not focusing on the losses, thinking about the gains, thinking about how you can even make this better for yourself, and how it will, there is a reason why these things have happened. And it's really just being, like I said, be awake. I said that, be awake. That's in all my readings. That's something I said in all my readings. Like, don't be an autopilot. You're going to feel changes. Some things are going to be unexpected. You really want to be awake. Yeah, but everyone is going to be feeling it. But it's really like, as long as you listen, your intuition. And I'm going to do a video on intuition. It is something that does really help. It's I did a video on crystals too. I don't know how much belief y'all have in crystals. They really are like they really do help. But having your really strong intuition really helps, because it does help you you know uh it's harder to have moments of self-doubt. It's harder, or you have less moments of self-doubt or stress, or when you're tapped into your intuition, because then you let spirit guide you, right? You just know that everything is, so it's really just your intuition is just it. And I'll make a bigger video on that. I think that I told Jean has done a private reading with me, and so even though I'm completely booked up for the year and I'm going to be ending the reading, so I'm no longer going to be doing private readings. I very very rare, I only tell people this in my readings when I do the private readings, but I actually used to give psychic readings in the past. I've always been very as an empath. I didn't know I was an empath until later in life. But even oh gosh, I would just see things. I would see things, and I've always been in touch with my intuition, on a really deep level. And so I would even I would see things happen before they happened. I would, when you're really deep in meditation too, you start, you hear things. So it's everyone has intuition. Everybody has like, you know, it's, you can call it your sixth sense as well if you'd like to, but it's really, I'll do a video on that. But it's really trusting your intuition that makes everything so much easier, so much easier. And nature, and being out in nature, that I'm not even joking, that really does help. Nature does help. Alicia, yeah, and everyone, good luck on your new journey. Everyone's going through change. How to use this group chat, Alicia? I am too. Don't worry, I am too. This is the first time I'm doing something like this. I did the one yesterday, but the comments were just like, "Whoa." Oh, Alicia, you're amazing. Thanks so much. You're so sweet. Um, Bridget, daily journal. Okay, cool. I'm glad that you're taking these tips. No preventing exactly what happened. Journaling. Vicchio. Oh, you're okay. So Virgo, Sun, and Mercury, Libra, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Lots of changes with your relations at your job. Kind of scary, but really excited. Yes. Like again, like a lot of changes. Well, Virgo, like, I mean, you're a Virgo, and you know there's a couple. Y'all have. I love that there's a lot of like different ones here. But that is just really big. It is a time for, you know, Virgos are going through well, if you're a Virgo Libra rising, you are definitely going through like major like spiritual journey. But a lot of, you know, Libras are going through the most transformative year, right? Because of you know, Jupiter being in your 8th house, but then with you being Virgo, it's your 9th house as well. Lots of changes. Yeah. Alicia, give us a tea for August, September. I think I did. Well, the next month when we do this in August, then I'll do September for y'all. Michelle, do you recommend? Oh, yes, please. You have to watch your rising. So I did a video of I've done a couple videos where I include the rising sign. I was gonna do a video just on the rising sign, but then I think I said yesterday, I think I'm gonna bring someone else in to do that because I want to introduce y'all to other astrologers, because a lot of people come to me asking, you know, a lot of comments and emails about doing the birth charts and whatnot, but I'm just not doing these. So there's a lot of very professional, respected astrologers out there who are great, absolutely brilliant. But yes, your rising sign is very important. It's very important to read. It's like I always say, it's just the other half of your sun. If you do, I did a story of like 5 reasons why your horoscope didn't come true, or it's story. I did a video on 5 reasons why your horoscope didn't come true, and I talked a lot more about the rising. But it really is like our brains have been trained since you know, since the beginning of the 1900s, when horoscopes came out in newspapers. It would only be the sun sign. So for decades and decades and decades, everyone just thought the sun sign is the most important thing. Nothing else matters. The rising sign is the other half. It's the other half. It's the movement of, you know, what I say, what's happening in real time. So you will get a clearer picture. Some people, for me, for instance, like even years ago, I would read my rising sign first, just to get an idea of what was going to happen. And then I would read my sun sign when it came to like reading a horoscope. So it really is something that, it really is something that will resonate with you. Definitely read your rising. You 1000%. 1000% read your rising. I was going to say something else about rising. What was I going to say about rising? I think I forget. It'll come back to me. But yes, Michelle, definitely read your rising. Some people. Oh, the thing that I was going to say you will notice, and I don't, maybe not, but a lot of YouTube astrologers, not the young ones, like the ones that have been doing it for, you know, decades, astrology, you'll see that when they do their monthly horoscopes for every sign, they only do rising. They don't even do, so they do rising, and then they say you can also read it for your sun too. Okay, that's how important. It's almost like rising is more important than sun. All right, it's not, and it's the other half, but it's showing how important rising is. But it is sun and rising because uh, everything's happening in your sun as well. So even like the example that I gave earlier about how every time Jupiter goes into Taurus, which it just did 2 months ago, for me as an Aquarius, that's our fourth house, our domestic sector, family, home, our actual home. So a lot of people move during, a lot of Aquarians move during Jupiter and Taurus. And every time Jupiter went into Taurus, all the way back to 2000, I moved every 12 years, which is crazy. So yes, of course, everything, you know, is going to affect you with your sun sign, but you have to see your rising, which kind of like colors everything. It really, you're only getting half the picture if you only read your sun. So I would highly recommend it. Okay, so where am I now? So I know I'm still okay. Cheryl, you said at some point, if you're willing, I'd be very interested to hear talking about guides. Yes, that could be for a later session because I know that I'm already over an hour. But I'm gonna stick around until I make sure that everyone. Okay, so but yes, I'll keep that in mind. Bridget, your daughter is Pisces, Leo rising. The Leo readings have been more accurate than her son. There you go. There you go. Jean, Gemini, Sun and Rising, Pisces, Moon. That's right. Michelle said I. Oh, and then, no, sorry. Oh, wait. No, that's a different Michelle. Okay, Michelle. I just found out what my rising sign was. Libra. That's great. But I've in Leo through and through. I wouldn't know if Libra would resonate with you. Yeah, and that's the other thing is like once you start reading your rising, like it takes a while because it's so new to you, right? It's so new to add this other element. But yeah, a lot of people resonate more with their rising for sure. It also depends on your birth chart too. Some people may have, you know, like a lot more. Like I have a lot of Aquarius in my birth chart, so I resonate a lot with Aquarius because I'm very Aquarius. Like my midheavens in Aquarius, like conjuncting my Venus and my Sun. It's crazy. It's really crazy. Venus retrograde ends on your birthday. Good for you. That's amazing. And happy birthday. Cheryl, your moon is in Libra. Okay. Oh, you have a Libra moon. I love that. Still getting the hang of this. Yes. It takes it's the more you read your rising and your other and your moon, you'll see how it starts. It just may not happen right away, but you'll see how it starts making sense. Bridget, you would watch your both sun and rising for your kids. Unfortunately, you don't have a choice to watch more than one reading. No variety. That's so funny. That's so true. Michelle, your Aries, Taurus rising. That's right. Yep, yep. You're flipped from the other. Okay, so yeah, you're gonna make a lot of money this year. You're gonna make a lot of money. Oh wow, Capricorn. Oh my gosh, you're gonna make a lot of money. Michelle, that you're in Savannah. I used to go down there all the time. Deirdre, what is midheaven? Okay, so that is something in your chart. It's your midheaven is the big picture. It's the big picture. It's why you're here on Earth. It's the legacy you want to leave behind. It's closely linked to your career. or what you do in terms of, you know, what you want to be known for. The midheavens, it you can see, you'll see it in your birth chart. It's MC, okay? That's what you would look for, MC in your birth chart. And everyone has a different like midheaven, and it's so funny when doing the birth charts for people, just it's just how shocked they are as to the midheaven is just like, that's when they're just like, oh my god, that is so me. And that, yeah. So like, if you, I mean, you know, if you're Capricorn midheaven, yeah, you're like in it is very hardworking. You're in a profession where you want to make a huge impact. You're a little bit more serious. You may be a doctor, a nurse. You may be like, you know, someone like a little bit more serious. But then, like, if you were Sagittarius midheaven, you like could never have like a full-time job, 9 to 5. You cannot, like Sagittarius midheaven. They can't work 9 to 5. Okay, but they're very influential. They make great teachers. They love traveling. They work and travel. So it's a whole other thing. Okay, yeah, Bridget, there you go. You said the MC. Oh, Alicia, that's great. Now I'm so glad. Yours is in Taurus. Sun and rising are swap. Y'all are good and legendary. Yes, you are. Absolutely. Alicia, that's so funny. I do that too. You know, I do a lot of like, while I'm cooking. It's so funny. I'll listen to YouTube videos. I watch like a lot of like ancient civilizations, those kind of videos. So a lot of those, like, it's just more like audio, but I always have my computer on watching them while I cook. The 15th is the day that you start training at your new job. So wait, what is that for August? Well, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. That's the day of the new moon in Leo. New beginnings. Where are we? Yeah, be adaptable. Got the chat feed on slow from last. Yeah, well, no, I'm trying to. I want to. Yeah, I'm doing the scroll thing that someone told me to do yesterday. Mars is in Virgo. Oh, then yeah, okay, Irma, there you go. That's so just, you know, just kind of just, and I know it's going to be hard for you because your Mars isn't Virgo, you're Virgo rising. It's like, it may be hard for you to not just like get in there and just be very like, just like like perfectionist energy, but try to just like pull back a bit and look at the bright side of things. Yeah, I am. Yes, I am scrolling up. Purple Magpie. I'm glad. That's so great. That's so great. Jean, you ordered more crystals. That's amazing. Purple Magpie. That's a great suggestion. Alicia, you pulled weeds in the sun. I love that. Yes, that's, oh, so we're talking, oh, I see what's happening. I'm way backed up. Okay, because I talked about nature the other just like 15 minutes ago. I'm so excited for all the, thank you. Okay, so I'm gonna read a little faster. Can you, okay. Alicia, you asked about how sun and rising differs. Yes, really, rising is just like the planets in motion, what's happening for you right now. It's going to give you a better idea of just think of it as like fueling what's happening with your sun sign. And your sun is like always going to be you. Sun is like when you were born, the rising is like where the sun was rising on the eastern horizon when you were born. It was, and that's why it's also called ascendant. It was ascending. So that's movement. Okay, so it's movement, and so it's all these big aspects that I talk about. It's a lot of people will feel it more for their rising. How do you find your rising sign? So you have to go to your birth chart. You have to get your birth chart, and you need to know your time of birth. Okay, so you got to know your time of birth. in place of birth, and then you can, and actually, so Susan Miller, you can do it on her website now. So she actually coded her own, so it's amazing. So not only will you be able to get your birth chart, but it's detailed, very detailed on what all the planets mean, or all the placements mean. Okay, so that's astrologyzone.com. But you can, there's so many other apps out there where you can get it. A lot of, well, I wouldn't say apps. I would do, I'll type it in the chat here. This is one that you can get your birth chart from that website. But I would not, there's a lot of apps out there that don't, like, you can do it, but I wouldn't read the descriptions, because a lot of the apps, and I don't want to like name apps, but a lot of the apps that are coming out because astrology is so popular now, they don't actually have astrologers write it. So I would not, it's so you can get your birth chart from that, but I wouldn't actually read the descriptions that they write. I would like, for instance, Astrology Zone, definitely, obviously you can trust that one. Okay, so Jean, oh my gosh, you're amazing. Thank you so much. Oh my gosh, you're amazing. I love the little robot thing too. That's so cool. Alicia, you are a Taurus. Okay, so now, okay, I think I'm caught up now. Oh, Savannah is where you're opening a facility. That's amazing. Okay, awesome. Cheryl, your midheaven is Aries. You are a natural born entrepreneur, a natural born leader. I would not be surprised if you started your own company or have your own company. I mean, that's yeah. Alicia, I am so glad that I'm your vibe. Okay, y'all. Okay. It's okay. So I'm at the end now. I've gone through all of them. It's a moment to our sun. Thanks, Taurus, Aries. Moon is more just like in layman's terms, just like your emotions. Just think emotions, how it's affecting you emotionally. That's the easiest way without me spending 20 minutes talking into it. Okay, so yes. It has been over an hour. Thank you so much, everybody. I hope that was I give you like a good enough preview for what's to come for August. And your August readings I'm doing this week anyway. So I'll be dropping them Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. The full moon in Aquarius reading, that'll be Tuesday morning, and all members will have access to that. And then yeah, and then we'll do this again next month, and I'll let you know next month what the time and day, but it will have to be, it's always going to be a weekend, because I can't do it over the weekday, but I'll let you know when in August. Okay, y'all, thank you so much. Y'all are amazing. I really appreciate it. I hope that I answered everyone's questions and whatnot. And but yeah, this is a the full moon is everything. You'll get access to it, and you'll see what you can expect for your sign. All right, thanks so much, everybody. Okay, I will have a wonderful weekend. Thank you again for being members, and we'll chat next month. Okay, bye, y'all. Bye.